Good morning, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. Today, this will be a Divine Feminine check-in. And it's funny, I started doing a spread forgetting that I'm starting to shuffle on camera. So we have half of the spread out. Okay, let me ground and then I'll pull more cards. Okay, Divine Feminines. Wow. Whew. These primary cards are potent. There is a wildness to this energy. There is a bit of chaos to this energy, but it's supposed to be there. Remember, human chaos is divine order. There is something, feminines, that you are on the precipice of birthing. There is something that you've been gestating for quite a long time. You are being called to return to the wild. What comes up in you when you hear me say that? You are being called to access your animal self, your instinctual self. Hold on a second. What's really funny is we have this Run with Wolves card, and I just happen to have Clarissa Pinkola Estes' Women Who Run with Wolves. There's something, I don't know if some of you are supposed to read this book, or I mean, really, if you listen, it's a great pleasure to actually listen to Clarissa Pinkola Estes because she's such a storyteller. So if you could listen to any of her audiobooks, it's beautiful to hear her innate elder, indigenous kind of folky wisdom that she shares. So that's for someone here. Go read that book. I can't stop. We have thunderstorms and this storms card down here. There's something about, let's think about a thunderstorm for a second. Let's break this down. Often, we actually just had one. I'm in Connecticut on the East Coast, and we just had one, like a big one, and it was intense. And you forget how powerful it is. It's like it felt like a blanket of darkness kind of came out of nowhere, and the skies opened up, and it was just dumping rain. There was thunder, and there was lightning. Interesting, lightning is such a acute amount of energy, right? It's a very specific, acute, localized bundle of electricity, right, which illuminates kind of the landscape in this kind of chaotic dance. This feels okay. I'm torn because yes, this is a collective divine feminine reading, but there's almost a split in the narratives. There's one narrative here that is for a group of you that are going through a very tumultuous rebirth. When you think about the actual act of birth, it's a chaotic experience. There's pain, there's fluids, there's blood, there's ripping of skin, there's stretching of the body. There's all of this kind of aggressive intensity that's all happening. So there's a group of you here that something has to be dismantled in order for this rebirth to happen. You're being called to step into the boldness of whatever this thing is. I can't stop staring at these two reversals, this scarcity and betrayal. Okay, obvious message here. Where have you been betraying yourself, stuck in a story of scarcity? By remaining in these limiting beliefs and the scarcity mindset, we betray the gifted parts of self. We betray our soul's calling. We betray our soul mission, our heart gifts that we came here to share with the planet. By letting these things go, you will be able to open the door to have this equal giving and receiving with the universe. Be bold, be brazen, ground yourself. You can take another step forward in your naked, raw, authentic truth. This is your radical rebirth, This is your metamorphosis, your transformation. Wow. Okay. Okay, there's another group of feminines here who have moved through that rebirth and are standing very gracefully on their throne, knowing their past of their warrior nature, knowing the battles they've fought, having the battle scars to prove it, honoring where they've come from, where they've been, but knowing where they are now and being self-sourced. These two cards, Warrior Woman and Medicine Woman. You are both within one. Sorry, I'm just thinking of something. Hold on. Yeah, so these numbers, we have 41 and 17 reduces to a 5 and an 8. Hold on. Okay, so, 5's great time of change, right? Great change, but also the 8 is this kind of like infinity symbol, right? This idea that the changes that you've made, the wounds that you've received, the wisdom that you've integrated and embodied on this journey, this is what your foundation is made up of. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm getting this very delicious message of, and I don't like to normally say these things. I don't like to be definitive in my interpretation and in my kind of channeling. But there's a part of you. Hold on, let me just gather myself. I could feel the vibrations under my skin. Very activating energy. Okay, the thing I don't want to say that I'm going to say, for a group of you, you will never go back to where you were. You will never need to go back and learn the lessons that you've already learned. There's something about this stable foundation now that you can rely on the parts of self that have overcome, that have gone through the hero's or a heroine's journey. You have come back home. You are sitting on your throne. You have access to all of this healing wisdom so that you can heal self and others, so that you can heal the planet, so that you can come back into alignment with your nature, with your internal Mother Gaia. This is another form of wildness. This is like I'm getting the message that this is we have the first thing, the second thing, and this is the third thing. This is a place we've never been before. In between this and that, it's almost like if this and that had a baby, and whatever that is being birthed in that liminal space is this woman, is this power, is this feminine vibration coursing through your veins. It's like a divine union between the wildness and the divinity, the wisdom and the body, right? The physical and the spiritual. This combination gifts us with fertile earth to plant whatever seeds that are in alignment with your soul. Random strength without self-belief is like a car without an engine. Focus on the prize and not throwing the punches. Okay, there's something here, and it's interesting that this is the center card. Do you see this heart here with this spiral in it with a little like sunburst in it? There's something here about reclaiming feminine energy. And now this isn't a split narrative. This is for the collective feminine energy. There's something here about reclaiming softness. Reclaiming softness without losing the wildness, right? So often we have been forced into these boxes, into these labels, into these good girl, good woman narratives, kindness, we've basically we've had the wildness beaten out of us, right? From one way or another. We have softened these edges, and we are at this place where we are reclaiming this wildness, but bringing our wisdom with us, bringing the wisdom and marrying these two bodies of thought, bodies of magic together, and allowing them to create, to alchemize this next substance, this substance that is out of our awareness, this substance that is not quite in our grasp. Okay. Anything else for Divine Feminines? Anything else? Okay, we have how can I deepen trust that my intuition knows the way? And we have what eternal knowing can I access in human form? I'm not going to take any of these. Okay. Let me get a few more, actually. Anything else for Divine Feminines? Anything else? Okay. We have lighten your load and animals. You know, I mean, I'm going to put the animals right under the run with wolves. Sorry if you see paint on my hands. I've been painting. Okay. What eternal knowing can I access in human form? Okay. Sorry, I'm seeing, so sometimes I see images or scenes and I enter them. I energetically enter the scene, and then I have a look around, and then I can interpret the energy or what this image is trying to communicate to me. And so this is a call to very primitive practice, getting back to our core truths, getting back to that place where you can return to breath. And when all else fails, when all else is out of reach, we can return to the breath. It's interesting. I just saw we have this blow card. How can I deepen trust that my intuition knows the way? Intuition and internal knowing, eternal knowing. That wasn't an accident that I said that. At the end of the day, nothing else matters except the breath. If we do not have breath, we are not living, right? If we do not have air in this lungs, if we lose the capacity to fill and expel the air in our lungs, we lose the capacity to live. We lose the capacity of life. Return to the breath in any moments where you feel that the load has become too heavy to carry. Something too about spending time with animals for some of you, spending time in nature, grounding in the holy rawness, grounding in our holy primitive forms. Ooh, okay. Oh, this is interesting. I have a card that's not supposed to be here. Let's see what it is. Grounded. Don't we have another grounding card? Yes, right here. I will add it to the pile. Feminines, what grounds you? You've heard me say this almost every single reading, but are you doing it? Sorry, not to call you out, but it just keeps showing up. I think honestly, all of us can use grounding every day with the amount of electronics and city noise and noise pollution, light pollution, screen pollution, all these other kind of interventions that are intervening in our natural cycles. We could all use some grounding. Okay, we have Sacred Self. I know I am love. It says, change me, divine beloved, into one who knows my true worth in every moment. Let me experience that I am love. My own sacred self will always draw kindred spirits. And then we have release. I move in harmony. Change me, divine beloved, into one who easily releases all that's ready to go. Let me move in harmony with your natural cycles. Okay. Very simple, old school message. You've heard me say this a million times. Feminines, where are you not nurturing yourself? Where are you not taking care of self? Where do you need caretaking? Are you pushing yourself too hard? Do you need more sleep? Do you need proper nutrition? Do you need better hydration? Do you need, are you fine, but your soul is exhausted? Are you getting all the sleep and doing all the things and still exhausted? That usually means that your soul is longing and yearning for something. What are you yearning for in this present moment, right here as you hear this? What would support you right now? Is it a conversation with a friend? Is it reaching out for help? Is it having that conversation you've been putting off with a beloved or a coworker or your boss? Or are you putting off a really deep, intense conversation with yourself? Is there something that you need to sit yourself down and communicate? Yeah, interesting. In the unconscious, we have truth. What truth has yet to be illuminated? Okay. So weird energy in this reading today. It's just, it feels very heavy, but also incredibly accomplished. It feels both like rich soil, in that many of you are kind of at this place in your life where you're on a springboard to the next beautiful kind of iteration of self. It's this wonderful, very high accomplishing, high functioning power. And then there's also this like deep kind of dense, I almost want to label it as sadness, but that's not the full spectrum. There's a density here. So feminine energy, feminines, divine, delicious feminines. Is there a sadness of closing a chapter that is arising? Is there a grief of leaving a person, place, thing, job, hobby, interest? Is there some grief that is unspoken, that is unvibrated, if that's a word? Is there something that needs to be moved through the body? Are you expressing yourself in all directions? Are you creating space for this grief? Because yes, you've come so far. Yes, you've taken incredible accountability and responsibility for all of your own chaos, for the thunderstorms that you yourself have created. You've walked the walk, you've talked the talk. You are doing all the things you wished you could do, and yet still there is this density here. There is this sadness. There is this grief. I could feel it. I'm getting a little teary-eyed, and I can't actually access a direct path. I don't fully see where it's coming from. So maybe it is someone else's, maybe it's someone, one or two of you. I have no clue, but there is this deep grief that's dancing around my throat and my temples. You are worthy to express this and put it down. You are worthy to lighten your load by taking care of self. We have leap, you go first, and the universe will catch you. And then awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, and integration. And then we have unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives, but it came out in reverse. Do you see all of these? Look at all these images. Look at all of these women. They are all what? They're all floating or flying, right? Yet there is something chaining you down. What is the last cord? What is the last tether you have to something? You're being called to take radical responsibility and wield your wise discernment and take action on your intuition to cut this last cord. But again, tune in with self. You do this only on your own timeline. No one else can tell you who, what, when, where, and why you should do X, Y, Z. This has to come from inside. And it's interesting, in the unconscious, we have dance with life, do something to change your energy. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's like all of this accomplishment is here. Feminines, you should be celebrating and being in joyful, like bubbly abundance. There's so much. Do you even see, like, look at all these swirly, beautiful cards. There's almost a swirl in, actually, there is a swirl in every single card we have here. You are walking the walk. You are dancing the dance. You are doing all of the things correct. Yet there is still this, like, there's still this defeat. I can only feel and assume that this may be defeat from old parts of self. That it's very interesting when we get to and I hate to use the word successful place, but when we have worked really hard and overcome a part of self, or overcome an external thing in the world, when we get that final delicious taste of what things should be like, we tend to feel the grief of the parts that went through other experiences, that felt the density, that didn't even know there was a whole other world out there. Again, honor this grief. You know, the power of dance is profound. So for some of you, I invite you to put on a song and dance your heart out and allow the emotional density to rise. I've had some of my biggest emotional releases and transformational experiences dancing, through dance. It's this beautiful combination of vibration and music and moving the body and emotional energy. There's like this wonderful trifecta that happens. And I invite you to just start and see where it takes you. Allow life to, how do I want to say it? Accept the invitation to be life's dance partner. I guarantee whatever version of this you experience, it will change your energy. It will shift your state. Okay. Let's get a spiritual message card. You know, I'm very exhausted in this reading because there's this conflict. I feel very floaty in my head right now. And by the way, if you haven't heard me say this before, I always name what's going on in my physical body. 1, because there's hidden messages in that. 2, because I like to model this practice so that you yourself can remember how to listen to the body, to understand that everything is a part of the message, right? There's a million pieces, and we just have to excavate and bring our awareness. Interesting. We have hope. We have hope. Your loved ones in the spirit world know when to reach out if they see you're at a low point. Whether you're caught up in difficult situations or struggling with someone specific in your life, there is always hope. Very specific message for some of you about, are you grieving a relationship at this time? And this could be a intimate romantic relationship, but this could also be grieving a loved one. Maybe someone has departed and it's that type of grief. Maybe you've closed a very deep friendship with someone that you're no longer meant to travel with at this time. There's this kind of, wow, I almost don't want to say this because it feels weird, but I had the image of, it's like you've made it to the Olympics, you won a gold medal, and then in that same moment you found out one of your family members has died, like your mother or something. It's a very dense energy. It's this very high and low. So honor what's coming through for you. And then I'm like laughing because we have hello from heaven. I mean, let me pull another card. Hold on. I can't tell. I don't have, they're not showing me, I can't discern if this is one group. It doesn't feel that way. Maybe it is, but it does feel like two different groups here. Anything else? No, let's get a different deck. Hold on. I don't know if I've ever experienced this feeling, in a spread. Okay, we have, where am I putting these? We have spiritual strength, and we have the root chakra and the crown chakra in reverse. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this feels like someone has passed away. This feels like someone significant, someone from your childhood, a mother, a father, a grandparent, a sibling, a best friend. Someone from your childhood. And this could be, yes, this could be recent, but this could be something from a very long time ago that's resurfacing. We have the trapped in fear and the unconscious. Oh, divine feminines, hold on. I have tears welling up in my heart and in my eyes. It's really dense energy. Someone that contributed to your foundation, to your safety, to your security, when they passed, somehow it rattled your root so profoundly that it somehow disconnected you from source. Without this connection to source, you have felt trapped in fear. Or maybe you have been trapped in fear and haven't quite been able to identify the source of it. You are being called to use your spiritual strength, to lean on your tools, your techniques, your wisdom that has been integrating for your entire life, to go back and heal the part of self that is deeply, deeply grieving. When you heal your root, your foundation, your connection to this body, to this earthly world, you will open the door to source consciousness. In this consciousness, you will gift back your grief to the void. You will gift back your pain to this grid of unconditional love and infinite oneness, so you no longer have to carry it. I'm very drawn to this image of this person holding the weight of something. And notice all of the green, all of the heart chakra. It's like your heart has been carrying the burden since you were very young. What burden is it time to let go of? Wow, I'm yawning. I'm using my shamanic sound tools. This energy is very dense. Let's get some self-care cards. I all of a sudden felt the weight on my shoulders and I want to slump over. Yeah, we have energy work in the reverse. The message is clear. I invite you to do some chakra work. You can listen to meditations. You can go see a energy worker, a Reiki practitioner, someone who dabbles in moving this energy. But I want to prepare you. Sorry, let me stop shuffling and take a moment. I want to prepare you that if you go to these practitioners, if you do this work, you may have a very profound, possibly jarring emotional release. You are safe in doing that. Honor what is arising for you and put down any criticism or judgment that you may have for self or other. Allow yourself to be seen and held. And for those of you who this is very difficult for, I have found, because I've had this moment, sorry, I need to sit down. This energy is like insane. I have felt this in very dense parts of my life when I was so in the trenches, I didn't feel worthy to even have someone hold space for me. An interesting step that supported me was actually paying for someone to do this. It felt like a more clean, energetic exchange for how I felt in that moment. And, the idea is like, if you're investing your energetic currency in someone, they in turn are investing their energetic currency in you. And there's this equal, clear exchange. And that allowed me to release even deeper, because this person was intentionally holding space for this exact thing. There was something about that. So that might be a gift for someone, that maybe paying for a service like this would actually allow you to put down the role of having to take care of everyone else around you, right? If we just vent to a friend or a family member, there's still a part of us that is in the role of caretaking. So if you pay for a session with a healer, it might allow you to actually let your guard down. Okay, we have journal and sync with the moon. Yeah, maybe it's time to see a healer on like planet, so that you're seeing them near a full moon, or maybe within the 3 days before, 3 days after. And whatever comes up, make sure you're documenting this. Journal it out, even if you just write one word or a little bullet point or something. Wow, I did not see this coming. Let me get a quick twin flame card. Again, just to recap, I'll go over this after. Again, something in the root chakra, most likely in your conception, in your childhood. I recently just asked a group of my consciousness ladies today. I saw this beautiful woman, super pregnant. She was in this adorable little like unitard outfit, and she just was waddling down the street, and she looked like she was glowing. She looked stunning. And I happened to be recording these messages, and I asked my friends, I said, what was your birth story like? And yes, what is your birth story if you're a mother yourself and you've had children, or you've become pregnant or something, but also what was your mother's birth story when she had you? There may be something in that for you. Was there chaos? Was it excitement? Were you supported? Was your mother supported? Was there any sort of complications? In identifying these things and bringing them out of the shadows into the light, we can actually show up and care for those parts of self that are still wounded. In that, we could finally have this release. And then we have this mystical messages, follow the signs. Be mindful of what comes up in the hours and days following this reading. Take care of self. Ground. Do all the things. I'm going to leave it there.